Before texts, before emails, there was that pen. The one you held the day your heart raced for the first time. You thought you'd forgotten it, but it never forgot you. Tell me something. Have you ever lost something small, something you thought you'd forget, and yet, all these years later, you still think about it? Maybe it was a book, a photograph, or maybe it was a pen. Not just any pen, but that pen. The one that sat in your shirt pocket through half your school years. The one that wrote your first essay, maybe even your first love note. And then one day, it was just gone. Funny, isn't it? How something so simple can carry so much of who we were. Today, I want to take you back to the hallways, lunchrooms, and classrooms of the 1950s and 60s. Back to a time when life was simpler, but the feelings were just as real. Maybe, just maybe, we'll find your lost pen again. Do you remember the smell of pencil shavings and floor wax? The heavy ring of the school bell echoing through long, polished hallways? There was something sacred about those mornings. The clatter of lunch boxes, the squeak of new shoes on tile, the gentle voice of your teacher calling out, "All right now, eyes up here!" And those desks, wooden, carved with hearts, initials, secrets. Do you remember the way you used to hide notes in your books? Or the nervous thrill of passing a folded paper down the row? We had chalk on our hands, ink stains on our shirts, dreams in our heads, and in our hands, a pen. Maybe your first real pen was the Esterbrook, American-made, affordable, reliable, you earned it. Or maybe your parents gave it to you as a reward for good grades or just growing up. And oh, the joy of writing with it. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog again and again until your hand ached and your loops were perfect. You dipped it into inkwells, blotted your mistakes with thick blotting paper, and the day you spilled ink across your workbook, you cried. But your teacher smiled. "That's how we learn," she said. That pen, it taught you more than handwriting. It taught you patience. Then came the Schaefer school pen. Smoother, sleeker. Maybe you remember how grown up it made you feel. You wrote letters to pen pals across the country, signed yearbooks with messages like, "Don't ever change." Do you remember your best friend's handwriting? The way they dotted their I's with hearts or tiny circles? That pen captured emotions, scribbled in the margins of your notebook during boring lectures, wrote poems you were too shy to share. You held it during your first big test. Sweaty palms, clock ticking, and when it was all over, you exhaled and looked at the pen like it had done the work for you. Pen 3, the Parker 51. Ah, the Parker 51. That wasn't just a pen, that was a milestone. Maybe your dad gave it to you. Maybe you saved up for it, 1 nickel at a time. You didn't just write with a Parker. You made statements. Some of us used it to apply to college. Others, to write goodbye letters before heading off to serve. And later, maybe even to sign your wedding license. The Parker 51 held weight, not just in the hand, but in the moment. Pen number 4, the We Are Ever fountain pen. Now maybe this one slipped your memory, but the We Are Ever fountain pen, that little plastic hero, was everywhere. You probably had a few, lost a few, shared one with your crush during history class. It wasn't fancy, but it got the job done. It scribbled jokes, doodles, quick notes to friends. It was light, cheap, and unforgettable in the way only the little things can be. Pen number 5, the Bic Cristal. And finally, the pen that changed everything, the Bic Cristal. Transparent, dependable, found in every backpack, purse, and drawer in America. You twisted the barrel to make the ink last just a little longer. You chewed on the cap until it looked like it had been through a war. And when it ran out in the middle of a test, you begged the kid next to you, "Hey, got an extra?" You do remember that, don't you? Maybe you still got one somewhere, tucked in a drawer, in a box beside old letters or faded prom photo. And if you ever hold it again, just for a moment, time will stop. You'll hear the bell ring, smell the chalk, feel your fingers curl around a desk just a little too big for you. Because that pen didn't just write your name, it wrote your story. And friend, ink never fades, and neither do the memories. Tell me, which pen was yours? Which one still lives in your memory? Leave a comment, share your story. Let's remember together, because you're not alone. We all carried those pens once, and deep down, we still do. Ink never fades, and neither do the memories. If this brought back even one memory, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Open my channel like an old diary, and you'll find more pages just like this.